And I'd like to welcome you all to our Tuesday 1:30 p.m. session with UDC Snap Ed once again, where Mr. Paul and Chef Herb will be doing a session on shopping on a budget. So I really look forward to the session today. And again, I'm Alex Bell. I'll be technical support for today. I'm going to go ahead and read our disclaimer before we get started. The WildTech DC Senior Digital Equity Program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on info and any apps or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thanks so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you cannot see us, hear us, or see the screen, please let us know in the chat. We'd appreciate that. As always, let's make sure to keep our TVs and cell phones in mind. But please make sure you take notes and or screenshots. Again, you can hit your home button and power button on your iPad to take a screenshot so you can review that for later. But once again, this will be on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. And you can review and rewind as much as you'd like. So Chef Herb and Paul, if you could introduce yourselves and your topics for today. After that, again, you can go ahead and get started. And I look forward to assisting with the hands in the chat today.
All righty. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Chef Holden here, Center for Nutrition, Diet, and Health, SNAP Ed Program Coordinator, and I'm looking forward to do a wonderful recipe with you guys today. Simple, easy recipe, and I will let my colleague introduce himself to you guys.
Good afternoon, everybody. Some folks I do know. Some folks I do see that are very new to me. So welcome everybody, and I'm glad to be here. My name is Paul Brown. I'm a project coordinator with UDC Snap Ed program, and I'm glad to be here today. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started first. You'll get me first, and then I'll flip it over to Chef Herb once we're done. All right. Alex, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen if that's okay.
Yep, wonderful. And I'll let you know when we're able to see it.
Right.
And thank you so much for coming on. The sessions beforehand were really good with the information and the demonstration. So thank you so much.
All right. All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, you are good to go.
All right. Again, my name is Paul Brown. I am with the Causes College. Ooh, I'm moving too fast. All right. The College of Agriculture, Urban Sustainability, and Urban and Environmental Science. I'm a part of the UDC SNAP Ed, and we'll get into that in 1 second. All right. UDC, the SNAP Ed program, is funded by the United States Department of Agriculture, or is better known as the USDA. Our institution is prohibited from discriminating on the basis of sex, age, race, color, national origin, religious creed, any of those things. We're not here to do any of that stuff, so you're not going to have to worry about that. But if you feel like you've been discriminated or you've been discriminated against, there's an address and a phone number right there. You all will get these slides, so you all will be able to look at that number and call that number, write that address, get to that email, and make sure that you get your stuff, you get your discrimination heard. All right. If there's any other questions, comments, again, you can contact those the folks at USDA, and they will definitely take care of you and hear your complaint. All right. Without further ado, today's topic, we're going to talk about something that is dear to me, something that I try to do every time I go to the grocery store. Hopefully it's something that you all try to do. If not try, it's something that you all are doing. It's shopping on a budget. All right. I don't know anybody here that's any lottery winners, but unless you are, you're probably shopping on some kind of budget in some way, shape, or form. So we want to try to help you stick to that budget and give you some tips on how you can best keep to that budget when you are out doing your grocery shopping. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. Now, I'm going to start with a question to you all. What are some things that you all do when it comes to, when you all shopping to help stretch your dollar? All right. When it comes to shopping for food. For me personally, I'll go ahead and get started. I'll start. For me, when I shop and to try to stretch my dollar, what I typically do is I try to shop in season. So I try to buy things that are in season. Those things tend to be cheaper in price. So I try to stack up on lots of things that are in season and try to leave the stuff out of season alone, or for a special occasion. And one more thing that I do, I typically try to shop sales. Me and my wife were really good at shopping sales, so that's what I tend to do. I try to look for the sales and try to buy and stock up as much as I can on items that I like or items that we like and that we use frequently. I try to hit the sales and try to buy those items at a discounted price, or try to get like 2 for 1, that type of thing. So my dollar can stretch a little bit further than just any other time. But I'll open it up to you all. What are some things that you all do to stretch your dollars when it comes to shopping for food?
Thank you, Paul. This is a great icebreaker question. One of the things that we learned about from our presenters is looking at unit price. So that was a really great tip that they shared to compare two similar things to get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, we'll be talking about that today too, so I can't wait.
Oh, wonderful. Anyone else would like to share any things to help stretch your dollars when it comes to food? Please raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. Again, one tip could be really helpful for someone else as well. So any other takers? Most of us go to the grocery store, so definitely there's a lot of choices to be made. Anyone would like to share? Okay, we got Miss Brenda. Thank you so much. And then we have Miss Savon.
Before I go to the store, I always get the coupon at the store to see what's on sale.
I said it is not there. I will leave it to you.
Thank you so much, Miss Brenda.
And I pick up what's on sale and I buy it. And I mostly buy what's on sale. I don't buy other things. Okay.
Thank you. That's a great tip, Miss Brenda. I love it. I'm on that same type of time. All right, yes, and just make sure you lower your hands, you guys. Wonderful. We got Miss Yvonne next, and then Miss Marie. How do you stretch your dollar at the grocery store?
Oh, yes. Well, thank you, Alex. Alex, I usually try to buy the store brand. I find that it's often a little cheaper than the popular, mainstream brand. So if I'm in Giant, I'll usually buy the Giant brand, or if I'm in Whole Foods, I buy 365, which is the Whole Food brand. And also, I'd like to learn more about the digital savings, because it seems as if there's quite a bit of savings if you are using the digital way of doing it. I just need a new cell phone. I don't take my iPad to the grocery store. I don't know if my antiquated cell phone would allow me to do that. So
Oh,
that's how I save.
I love that, Yvonne. We've definitely talked about shopping apps in the past. So you don't have to necessarily take the device to the store. You can just put the coupons in the particular app. So I would definitely look at the Giant app or the Whole Foods app or Safeway app, wherever you shop, and look at those deals beforehand. But Mr. Paul may also share something about that as well. But I love that idea, and name store brands. I love that.
Thank you, Alex.
All right. Oh, we got three hands. Okay, let's try to keep it about a minute or less so we can get to as much content today. Okay, so I appreciate you sharing. We got Miss Marie and then Mr. Ronald, and then Miss Ann.
Okay. Good afternoon. This is Marie's daughter. I go to a couple of food banks, and then what I do is I supplement what I don't get from there with the grocery stores, also the non-name brands, and I also read the labels for calories, sodium, and high blood pressure, things like that, and sugars.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Miss Marie. Yes, Paul, you please, share any thoughts on what they're saying. I love
Oh,
everything they're saying.
I'm loving to hear all these things. These are all great, and you'll probably hear a lot of these same tips right in the presentation. This is great.
We have some experts already. All right, we got Mr. Ronald and then Ann, and then we'll go on to our next slide. Thank you.
Never go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
Was that one of my tips, Mr. Ronald?
Yes, it is.
I remember that, yes.
Because you wind up buying a lot of things that you really don't need
Uh-huh.
and spending a lot of money that you really don't have.
Oh, I stick to that tip. I've done that before, and it didn't turn out pretty for the bill. So, I learned my lesson with that, Mr. Ronald. So thank you so much for sharing that. It's so true. And then we got Anne for our last comment. Thank you.
Well, I follow a lot of those. I use the food bank and Food Fall DC, and I get the Hungry Harvest, and then I have the vegetables for the summer, and I buy store brands on some things. Some things I don't like. The taste is not quite the same. And I when they have like roast and chicken and stuff on sale, I usually buy the large one and I cut it in half and package like two the chicken maybe two pieces in a package to cook when you're gonna have. So you have a kind of like a reserve in the back of your mind and in your freezer.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the digital coupons at the Safeway and the Giant. And the ones you get in the newspaper for other stuff, like toothpaste and that kind of things.
Well, thank you so much, Anne. I love that. And it sounds like you guys are using the free resources available here in DC to help supplement your food. And that's how you stretch your dollar so you can, get more for your money's worth. So I love that. And the name brands and everything you guys shared. You guys are doing a really good job. So thank you, Anne, for sharing. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex.
Any thoughts, Paul, on the tips? Any initial thoughts?
Oh, this is great. I mean, you all are doing my presentation for me, so I appreciate it. All right, but those are all great tips, and a lot of those things you'll hear me repeat. So it sounds like I got some real professionals in here.
I think the hardest thing is sometimes being consistent.
Listen, consistency. It escapes us all sometimes.
I saw some tips coming up, so I look forward to seeing those.
All right. Great comments for everybody. I'm glad that we're all on the same page. It sounds like we all like to keep a couple of dollars in our pockets. And that's what we're here to do. We're trying to keep that money in our pocket. So, without further ado, we'll get back to it, and let's find some ways that we can keep that money in our pocket. All right. A lot of you all said some of these tips, but I got 10 tips here that when we're going grocery shopping, some things to keep in mind. A lot of these we've already talked about or you already know, but there might be some things here that may be new or maybe some things that you didn't think about. I'll just go through a couple of them. I like the first one is something that I try to do constantly. I try to do major shopping like once or maybe once or twice a month. So I'll do like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I'll try to get as much as I can or as much as we can get. And then that'll be the major, and then we'll try to supplement that with smaller trips. Hopefully we can get everything we need and try not to go back to the grocery store. But if we do have to, it'll only be for like something really small or really slight. So try to get that major shopping done like once a week, and then try to stay away or try to supplement that with smaller or with a trip or two. But you don't have to do grocery shopping every day. All right. As I heard you all say, don't shop on an empty stomach. All right. It makes you want to buy things that you wouldn't normally get. It makes you look at things differently. So you tend to overbuy. You tend to get things that you didn't come to the store for. So make sure that you get yourself you eat something before you go to the grocery store, before you do that major shop. And if you have kids, leave them at home if at all possible. I know sometimes it is impossible, but when we're doing that big shop and when we're trying to get everything that we need and we're trying to do it quickly, the kids can kind of be a distraction when it comes to getting the things that we're looking for. Buying the store brands. All right. They have store brands for almost everything in the store, but sometimes, just like I heard one of the attendees say, that they don't particularly like the taste of some of the store brands, not everything. And I'm the kind of the same way. I'll try to get those store brands whenever possible. But they say that it's the same, but sometimes it doesn't always taste that way. But it has the same type of feeling or the same type of flavor. It just may not be exactly what you're used to tasting. But if at all possible, try to buy those store brands because they do tend to be a little bit cheaper than the national brands. All right. Um, um, if you have glasses or if you need to read things while you're in the store, make sure you pack your glasses with you because that would kind of be a wasted trip or would kind of like defeat the purpose if we're trying to read the items or read your list or read some of the nutrition facts and we're not able to see them. So you want to make sure that you have your reading glasses, or if you need glasses, to bring your glasses to the store with you. That way you don't have to leave, or you can just do everything you need to do while you're there. If the store runs out of things that are on sale, ask for a rain check. All right. So they have store sales. All right. And sometimes those things they run out or they don't have those things, and you can still get them for the same price if you get a rain check. So when they get more of that item, you'll be able to get that same item or those items at that sale price. So just something to think about. If you see an item that you were looking for when you got there, you knew it was on sale, and then you got to the store and it just wasn't there, or they didn't have that particular brand or that particular flavor or whatever it may be available. Well, talk to the manager, try to get a rain check, and then when they do come back or when they do restock it, you'll be able to get it for that sale price. All right. Oh, one thing that I tend to do, and I'm starting to do a little bit more of now, is bringing my calculator or my cell phone and trying to have a stay on, but using the calculator or my phone calculator to kind of stay on budget. So I'll come in there, I'll go to the store with a price in mind or a budget in mind, and I'll just kind of every time I put something in the cart, I'll kind of have now, taxes and things like that. It's not going to be exact, but it will give you an idea of what you're looking at once you get to the front, to the register. You'll have an idea of the items that you're looking to buy, and then you'll have an idea of what you're trying to spend. So that way you'll know before you even need to get there if you need to put something back or if you need to go if you have enough money to get something else, whatever the case may be. So bring your calculator, bring your phone, and use that phone calculator to kind to keep track of your budget. And then stock up on non-perishables. All right. Whenever you can find them and they're not on sale, the good things that are canned, things that are frozen, things that will tend to hold a little bit longer than a couple of days or a week or so. Buy things like when you can get those non-perishables, get them on sale and try to stock up on those because they're always good and we can always kind of keep them in the back of our pantries, the back of our closets until we really need them. So it's really it's always a good tip to kind of keep those things on hand if at all possible. What are some things that we can do before we get to the grocery store? What do we do? One thing we can always do is ask yourself, how long are you trying to shop for? All right. I know we always think about budget and money, but I tend to think about how long do I even want to be in the store? All right. I don't want to be here for longer than an hour. I'll say I'll give myself an hour and a half, or if I'm doing like a big shop, maybe about an hour and a half or 2 hours. And then after that, I'm going to get out of there. So that kind of forces me to stay on track. All right. So if I'm kind of going into the store and telling myself that I don't want to be here, if I get there at 1 o'clock and I want to be out of the store by 2 or 2:30 at the latest, then I'm going to kind of stay on track. I'm not going to sit there and go over here and look over here. I'm going to get the things that are on my list, the things that I came in there to get, and then I'm going to get out of there. So it'll help you to stay on track if you tell yourself that you want to stay in the store for this amount of time or that amount of time, and then you try to stick to it. All right. Again, as Alex said, that consistency is how we try to keep it. All right. And then how many people are you cooking for? That can also help you to stay on track. All right. If you're cooking for just you and somebody else or just yourself, then you don't have to spend a lot of time. Or maybe if you're cooking for a little bit bigger group or bigger, or more family or friends, then you can, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get maybe some of the things that you're going to need. So again, see how many people you're cooking for, how long you want to stay, and kind of keep yourself on track that way. All right. Make a menu. All right. Listen, I know that we don't like to plan too much ahead, but making a menu can definitely help you to figure out how you want to shop. What things are you going to be shopping for? Because if you know that you're going to make food on Monday, maybe Thursday or Monday, Wednesday, and then maybe Friday, then you'll know that you need to get the items for those 3 meals, and then you'll make sure that you stay on task and get those items and those items alone. So again, make a menu. It just might be for breakfast, or make a lunch and dinner menu, or breakfast and dinner. Whatever the menus you make, just make that menu so that way you'll know exactly what items you're going to need and which ones you don't really need at that moment. All right. A couple other things while I'm not going to obviously go through everything, but I just want to kind of hit some of the bigger points here. Check your weekly. All right, check your weeklies. Get those circulars, those flyers, because they have lots of coupons. Listen, my mom taught me this as I was coming up. So always look in those Sunday paper. Look for the coupons and the papers, or where sometimes they'll get mailed to your house and those circulars. Use those coupons. All right, use those coupons, because sometimes they might be very exclusive, or you might find something that you typically like to eat or typically like to consume. All right, make sure that you use those, because they definitely help. Leftovers. Plan for leftovers. We'll tell ourselves that we want to cook on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right. But sometimes when we actually go and start to do the practice and start to actually cooking, we'll start to realize that maybe we don't have to cook on Friday, because we have enough left over for Monday and Wednesday. So we don't have to cook on Friday. So yeah, be flexible in your planning. So you make menus and you get yourself ready, but also plan for leftovers, because just because you have, or you've told yourself that you want to cook on Friday, you might not need to, or you might not have to, depending on how much of the other days that you've eaten from the other days. So you might have stuff left over from Monday, or you eaten all of Monday, but you still might have some food left over from Wednesday that you can carry on and continue to finish up, so that you don't have to cook a meal on Friday, or you can kind of play around with those leftovers. So maybe you don't have to make a completely new meal. Maybe you can use the leftovers to help make another meal or supplement another meal. So those are the kind of things that I do. My wife is famous for turning leftovers into a whole new meal on, we'll eat it on Wednesday and Thursday, and then by Friday, she doesn't want to taste the same thing. So she'll put it in a taco, or she'll put it in a wrap, or she'll cut it up and then make it something totally different and add it to another meal, or start cooking another meal with those leftovers. And thus we can finish up what we've already eaten, and now we still have another meal for another day. So it's really helpful when you plan for your leftovers. All right. And I heard a lot of folks tell me that they don't shop on an empty stomach. Make sure that you eat something before you go to the grocery store. It'll save you and your wallet a lot of time and effort and trouble if you just make sure that you're eating. That way you can kind of keep yourself on task, and you're not sitting there, I need to eat something right now, and you start buying things and putting things in a cart that you really shouldn't, or you really don't plan to do. Listen, I know we've all done it. I myself am guilty of that big time. So try to get you a snack, or have something to eat before you go shop. All right. Now, what about you all? What food group do you find, or do you find that tends to be the most expensive food group when you're shopping? All right. When I'm shopping, me personally, I tend, it's starting to change now, because dairy and stuff like that is starting to raise the prices over there. But for me, it tends to be my proteins, especially like my animal proteins, chicken, my beef. If I'm buying pork or anything like that, those tend to be the more expensive items in my cart. That's why I try to look for sales, or I try to buy things at discount. But I'll turn it over to you all. What food group do you tend to find to be the most expensive when you're shopping?
Okay, for this one, you can unmute yourself and just share the food group that you think it's most expensive right now.
Well, I think meat and dairy products are the most expensive. And
Okay.
what I do with the leftover vegetables, if it's just like a couple tablespoons of stuff, I have a bag. I put it in the bag in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
And when wintertime comes, I make me a big pot of vegetable soup, or chicken soup, or beef soup, etc.
That sounds delicious.
Okay.
And
Anyone else? We have almost 40 folks on the call. Please unmute yourself and share what food group you find to be most
Yeah.
expensive.
I find that bread and pastries have gone up in price as well. A loaf of bread, my goodness. And I make it a point to check where there are items for quick sale. Sometimes you can get some very good buys because of the expiration date. And sometimes it's the very same day you're shopping, and you can really, I find often at Giant, things are less than half price if you find that little area where they have quick sale, and they're usually breads and pastries and some canned items for quick sale. You can save a lot of money by shopping and knowing where that is in the store that you shop in.
That's a great tip, and I also wanted to add something to that. I will say, if you do that, All right. When you do go to those, I'll be honest with you. Personally, I like to shop in those areas as well. I would always tell you to just be careful. Make sure that you look at the expiration dates because those are important. All right. Sometimes when they're in that area, a lot of times they either something might be wrong with the packaging or the can itself, or the expiration date might be coming up, or it might be very close. So
Yes.
when you buy those items or when you shop in that section, please be cognizant of the expiration dates. Make sure that you look at the packaging, make sure everything looks good, because again, they're not selling you anything that they're not supposed to, but they're giving it to you at a discount because maybe something's wrong with the packaging or it's right
Uh-huh.
there by the expiration date. So you don't
Yeah.
want to save those items. You want to use those items fairly quickly,
Yeah.
so that you can get all of the benefit and not harm
I
yourself.
do examine them very closely.
All right, thank you. And I'm glad. I'm just for that was general advice for anybody that's going to follow that. But that's great. That's a great tip.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? Just again, the food group
Also,
be most
seafood is
expensive.
very expensive.
Oh yes, big time. Seafood, big time.
Thank you. I see that. I see that too. It sure is good. You- Again, you can unmute yourself and share. Anyone else quickly, the food group that you find the most expensive right now?
This is Wilma, and a few of them: potatoes, onions, fresh potatoes and onions. Most of your fruits and vegetables, but especially meats are extremely high right now.
Man.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
I see Miss Marie has a hand up.
It's raised.
Miss Marie, are you sharing something?
Yes.
Yes. Again, you can unmute and share. What food group do you find to be the most expensive? Miss Marie, are you there? Again, are you sharing an answer?
Yes. Okay. Okay. I think seafood is high unless you catch it on sale.
Big time.
But another thing I do is I take leftover bananas, things like that for smoothies, freeze it when it's getting brown, and use it for a smoothie.
Good tip.
Oh, and also shop your pantry. See what's in your pantry. You might have 5 of the items to make lasagna and only need to buy 1. So shop your pantry so you won't be buying duplicates too.
Great tip. Great tip. I like that.
Thank you so much, Miss Marie. And for all the new voices, yes, we want to hear. We have almost about 40 folks on the call, so please, we love to hear from everyone. You all have something important and valuable to share. So thank you all so much. And Paul, it's about 2:10, so just a time thing.
Okay, I'm going to get right back to it. So
Yeah.
thank you all for your answers. Those were great. Yeah, and I think it's just the economy, as the economy is whatever's going on in the political world, it's kind of giving us some raising the prices on our everyday items. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. All right.
At least eggs aren't $7 anymore. Well,
Listen, we just got to count our blessings where we can sometimes.
I got three dozen. The last time they were like 270.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right. Right. Some things that you can think about. Some things that some tips when you're shopping at the store to keep your budget and to spend your dollars wisely. Again, shop with your budget in mind. Know what you're coming in to spend. All right, and try not to go over that amount. So try, like I said, and that's where having your calculator or having your phone calculator and having those items so that when you can keep yourself on track as you add items to your cart, just put that price, plug that price in, and as you see that price continue to go up, you'll see it as it eventually will hit or come close to your budget, and then you can start trying to make some real decisions whether this is important or whether that's important or whether you need to get this or you need to get that. But again, have that budget in mind and bring that calculator so that you can stay on top. All right. Another tip: shop the perimeter first. The perimeter is where all of the fresh foods, all of the vegetables, the dairy items, everything that's perishable. All right. So you want to get your perimeter first, get the important items, and then in the middle of the store is where the non-perishables tend to be. Shop those perimeter first, try to get those deals and fill your cart up with that stuff, and try to stay away from those produced good, those mass produced goods and things like that. So shop your perimeter first and then go into the aisles and try to supplement those things there. All right. We talked about using coupons, buying in season. All right. When you buy things with your fruits and your produce, your fruits and vegetables, when you buy those things in season, they tend to be cheaper. So in the summertime, you get those summer fruits and vegetables, and they tend to be cheaper. And I've heard some folks, what you can do is you can go home and freeze them. So you can blanch the vegetables and you can freeze them, or you can get those fruits and you can freeze those fruits and have them for later use, or you can use them in smoothies and stuff like that. But try to buy them when they're cheaper, because trying to buy strawberries in the wintertime is going to cost you a little bit more, or blueberries, than they are in the summertime when they're plentiful. So just something to think about. All right. Um, the frozen or the canned, they tend to stretch our dollars a little bit more. So when we buy frozen produce or canned produce, they may not be taste as good as the fresh, but we still are able to get them at a little bit lower cost, and we can hold them for a little bit longer than we could the fresh thing. So just something to think about. We're going to talk about those unit prices, so I'm not going to spend too much time there, but I want to make sure that you all remember to buy your things in bulk, and then anything that you have extra, freeze them. All right, freeze them. All right. So make sure that you keep those things in mind. All right. What about your in-season produce? As we talked about, it tends to be cheaper. All right. It's better for the environment. So when you're not having to have things packaged and canned and stuff like that. So it tends to be better for the environment, because typically the farmers, they pick that produce, those vegetables, those fruits, and then they'll send them right to the store. So we're getting them at good quality. They're great for the environment, and it supports local businesses. All right. And typically, if you can't find it fresh, then buy it frozen or buy it canned. You'll typically you're still able to find your fruits and vegetables that way. So if you want carrots, or if you want strawberries, or whatever the fruits and things are at those times, you can typically get them frozen even if they're not in season. All right. As we talked about, trying those fresh and those canned and frozen produce, while it doesn't give you the fresh, it does tend to be better on your pocket. So it tends to stretch your budget a little bit more. Choose the stuff that's not in syrup. So look for the things that are not in syrup or light syrup. All right. Look for the things that are either canned in water or canned in 100% fruit juice. Those are the things that you want to look for. Look for low sodium or no salt added items when you are buying them frozen or canned, because typically when they to stretch the items, or to give them a longer life, they tend to add sodium, or they tend to put salt in there. So you look for the ones that have no or low salt, and then that tends to be a little bit healthier. Also look for the frozen fruits and the frozen vegetables without butter. All right, or not in those sauces. I was just in the grocery store the other day looking for green beans, and what did I saw? I saw green beans in buttery sauce. So that tends to make that item a lot more unhealthy. All right, so try to buy the items just as they are, just frozen, not in sauces or butters, because again, they tend to take away some of the health portions there. All right. And try to buy the frozen fruits without any added sugar. All right. Try to buy them just as they are. They're frozen, they've been blanched, and they're frozen right away without adding anything to them. Unit prices. Now, I did hear some folks talking about that you all learned about unit prices. This is key. All right. Unit prices, the retail price is what you pay. The unit price is what you pay, or what the cost of the measurement of the unit of measurement. So how much is per ounce, or how much is it per pound, per quart, whatever the unit of measurement is, how much of that item does it cost per that unit of measurement. And what I tend to see is, it tends to see that the bigger or the more of that item that you tend to buy, the cheaper it tends to be. And like if you try to buy things individually, or if you try to buy one serving or a small amount, it tends to be more. Why? Because they have to use more packaging. All right. When you buy, like for this example here, that retail price of the yogurt is 162. All right. And the retail price of the yogurt below it is 72 cents. So you would typically look, oh, well, I'm getting one for $1.62, another one for 72 cents. But if you look at the unit price, how much is it per ounce? I'm paying $1.62 for 32 ounces, as opposed to 72 cents for 6 ounces. So I'm getting 5 times the amount, all right, for less than half of the unit price. All right. So if that yogurt is 162, I divide that 162 by 32. All right. That 162 tends to be about 5 cents per ounce. Whereas if you take that 72 cents and you divide that 6 ounces by that 72 cent, I'm paying 12 cents per ounce. So I'm getting way less. I'm getting 5 times less for more than half of the unit price. So if you tend to do your math, if you can look and do your math, it tends to be better to buy a little bit more. All right. So you can divvy out once you buy that 32 ounce, you can divvy out the 6 ounces, but it's harder to just buy the 6 ounce and you're paying that 72 cent. Whereas you can get 5 times the amount for just a little bit over, or just a little bit more than half of that price there. So again, shopping smart, looking at the unit price tends to help you make better decisions than just looking at the retail price. So the retail price is just one piece of it. That unit price is another piece of the puzzle that you can look at, and it gives you a better idea of how much something actually costs. All right, so you can get a better deal when you buy. Looking at that unit price, you tend to get a better deal when you buy in bulk. And then read your labels. Reading your labels is important, all right? Knowing what you're looking at, all right? The key here is I look at these 5 things, and I tend to look at my labels based on 1 through 5. I start at the top at number 1, where it tells me the serving size, all right? Make sure to keep an eye on the serving size, because sometimes what we tend to do is we eat the whole package and not realize that we've eaten 2 or 3 or multiple servings. All right. So that serving, the label is based, the facts are based on 1 serving. So if you want to eat more than 1 serving, you have to do a little bit of math. So you have to times it by, let's say 2 if you're eating 2 servings, times it by 3 if you're eating 3 servings, or 4 or more. You're gonna times it by the number of servings that you're going to be eating. All right, and that's going to give you the total number of how much of the nutrient facts that you're going to be looking for. All right. The second thing you want to look at is those calories. How much of that energy are you getting out? All right. For this particular item, it's going to be 2 servings. It's one serving size is the cup, and there's two servings in this particular container, and there's 250 calories per serving. So there's 500 calories in this package, but there's 250 per serving. All right. Then you're going to then the next 3 and 4 are going to give you the nutrients. It starts at total fat and it ends at iron. All right, the nutrients you want to limit are your fats, your sodium, and your cholesterol, and then your sugars as well. All right, and then the nutrients that you want to make sure that you're getting enough of are your fiber, your vitamins, and your calcium and iron. So you want to pay attention to make sure that you're getting enough of those nutrients. All right, so make sure that you're looking at those items, and then you have the footnote that gives you it's based upon a diet, a 2,000 calorie diet, or 2,500 calorie diet, and then those numbers are going to change based upon the diet that you're looking, and then you're gonna use your diet and base it off those numbers, and you're going to try to find the serving that works best for you. All right. So when you're comparing 2 labels, always make sure you look at those servings, look at those nutrients, and look at those calories, and that way you'll determine which one is going to be better. All right. But always make sure you're looking at the same number of servings for each item that you're comparing. All right, kind of keep those things in mind. All right, then after you get done at the store, some tips, and then we're going to go ahead and finish this thing on up so we can get to Chef Herb. All right, some things that you want to stay aware of when you're at after you leave the store. Go straight home. This is not, once you leave the grocery store, it's not the time to try to do 5 other different errands while you're out. You want to make the store your last stop, so that way all of your frozen and your refrigerated items can get right to the refrigerator, because you may not realize it, but you do have a time limit. Those things will start to get cold. I mean, they'll start to melt. They'll start to get to room temperature, which we don't want. So make sure that you get your frozen and your refrigerated items put away as quickly as possible. Go straight home after you leave the store. All right, get them in there as quickly as possible. All right, try to portion out some of the bulk items that you've bought to make them so that you can put them in plastic bags or Ziploc bags or freezer bags, so that you can freeze some of the extras or refrigerate some of those extras, and that way you only work with what you have or what you need to work with at the time. Use FIFO, first in, first out. So when I bring home groceries from the grocery store, I slide all of the stuff that's already in my cabinet in my pantry. I slide that to the front, and I put all of the new stuff behind it. All right, so I want to use up all the old stuff first, and then I want to put the new stuff behind it, because all those expiration dates are going to be later than the stuff that I already have. So I want to use up everything that I have already, and then save the new stuff for later. So that's first in, first out. So do that. Make sure you do the same thing in your refrigerators and your freezers. All the stuff that needs to be that's already there previously, bring that up to the front so you can use it, and put the stuff that you just bought behind that stuff, and then you use those items in the order in which you purchased them. All right. When you get home, after you put everything away, go ahead and start chopping up your fruits and vegetables so that you can have a quick snack. All right. Carrots, celery, any berries. You want to start having those things readily available so that you can keep those for a good, healthy, quick snack. And then Leave the rinsing and the washing of your produce, your fruits and your vegetables. Leave that until it's time to eat or time to use it. Because when you wash your fruits and your vegetables and you don't pat them dry, you're going to speed the spoilage up. You're going to speed up decay. All right. So it's not going to last in your refrigerators as long because it's wet, and that moisture tends to bring decay. So if you need to wash your things, wash them when you're about to use them, or wash them and pat them fully dry before you put them in your refrigerator to store for later use. All right. So because remember, moisture helps to speed up decay. So keep that in mind when you are putting your things away. Keep your habits down as well. Make sure that you know exactly where your money goes. So that means you want to keep your receipts. See how much you're spending every time you go to the grocery store. That way you can kind of keep yourself on budget. All right. Again, have those budget worksheets. I've got some links here that when Chef Herb is talking, I'm going to put some of those links that you see that save your money, create a price book. I'm going to put those links in the chat once Chef Herb starts. Once I'm finished my presentation, I'm going to put those in the chat. So before you leave, make sure that you look at the chat and get those links so that you're able to see how you can save money and create a price book. All right. Eat out less. Now, I love eating out. I'm sure that you all love eating out, and eating out is okay. You just want to make sure that you are doing it not as much or not as often. Make it a treat. All right. You shouldn't be eating out 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe save it for Friday or for Saturday. And every other day you're doing your cooking and you're eating leftovers. All right. So try to freeze leftovers, try to work with your leftovers, play around with your leftovers. If you've been eating spaghetti, make a spaghetti sandwich or try to turn that spaghetti into something else. That way you're eating the same thing, but you're eating it in a different way. So it's kind of creative and it's helping you to get rid of the food that you already have. All right. And then anything that you can't get rid of by eating it, try to freeze it. All right. Try to put it into a Ziploc bag or a freezer bag and then put it into your freezer to save it for another time. So you can still save that food and you can still eat it at another time. You just froze it. All right. And then try some batch cooking. Try to make big batches of food and then portion it out and then freeze what's left. All right. Repurpose your leftovers. Like I told you, transform if you made a roast chicken, well, now you can make roast chicken sandwiches, or you can turn that roast chicken into tacos, or whatever the case may be. But get creative. All right. Try to find new ways to turn your leftovers into something else. All right. They have the My Plate app. I'm going to put that link in the chat. So when you see the chat, I'm going to have about 3 or 4 different links there, so that you can take a look at your leisure. All right. So make sure that before you leave, you check the chat and get those links and copy those links for yourself. All right. Thank you all for this great presentation. Now it's time to turn it over to my friend, Chef Herb. I think he's going to be making us some black bean burgers. All right. Those sound delicious. Chef Herb, I'm not going to delay anymore. I'm going to pass this right over to you. Again, check the chat. I'm going to put those links right in the chat, everyone.
So
All
thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you
Sorry,
so
go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Bell, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you. We hope to answer any questions at the end. So thank you so much. And Chef Herb, it's all for you now.
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for an awesome presentation. Guys, my recipe is really it's a budget-friendly recipe that I'm going to do for you guys today. It's a black bean burger. Now, there are some variations to this recipe. I'm gonna go over the basic ingredients, which is a can of low sodium black beans. You can need 1 egg, a half a cup of brown rice already cooked. You can need some scallions, some chopped cilantro, 1 garlic clove, some oregano, vegetable oil, salt and pepper, and your whole wheat buns, or however you want to dress up your sandwich, your burger. Really simple. There are variations to this recipe. You can use quinoa if you had quinoa laying around. You can use a half burger with some lean ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken and mix it with the beans to do a half and half. You can do that as well. But budget friendly, we're just going with the beans and the brown rice. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna move to my workstation so you guys can see what's going on. And we're gonna put these together. Really easy, really simple to do. So let me turn my camera around.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
connection is great, Chef Herb.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And Paul, make sure you check out the chat for also some of our seniors' comments. They leave some great tips and a great website that I never heard of for budget-friendly recipes. So
Thank you. I'm doing the same, and I'm going to put Chef Herb's recipe in the comments as well. So everybody look in the comments.
Thank you.
Burger
Yes,
recipe.
we got the recipe card last time. So yes, if you share that in the chat, we're able to take a look at it. Thank you so much.
Everybody can see my workstation right there?
Yeah, your beautiful scallions.
All righty, all righty. I'm gonna walk around and go over the ingredients, and then we're gonna put this together. Really easy, simple to do. Again, it's a straightforward recipe. I'm gonna go over my ingredients so you guys can see. Of course, we have our scallions here. The star is the black beans, which have been rinsed and drained already. And I'm gonna just go ahead and put them into my work bowl here. Okay. We're gonna need a half a cup of brown rice that's already cooked. I have my minced garlic. I have some seasoning, my oregano, some cilantro here. Calls for 1 egg, which I have here. And you're gonna need a little bit of vegetable oil for to fry up your burgers. So you're gonna need a saute pan, which I have my saute pan here on the stove. And I will move this over once I get to the sauteing part, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is we need to mash up our burgers. I mean, mash up our beans, I'm sorry. So I'm putting on my gloves here, and you want to mash these up, but you don't want to mash them up fine. You still want them kind of coarse, right? So I'm going to mash up my burgers. My glove here. Get another glove, but pop out of my glove here. My hands are big. Now you can use a fork to mash these up. You can use a potato masher to mash these up. You can use your hand, whatever you choose to do, however you want to use to mash up your burgers. So I'm just gonna use my hands, and I'm just gonna mash them up a little bit. All right, simple, really easy. You know, good way to take out some frustration. All right, you just came home in traffic. Go ahead and take some frustration out and mash those beans up. Okay. All right. So giving this a nice little mash here. I'm just squeezing them with my hands. And again, you can use a fork, you can use a potato masher, you can use anything that you want. You can put them in a Ziploc bag and take a pot or something to beat that bag down to mash them as well. Okay. All right. So I have my beans mashed up here, as you guys can see. Now I'm going to go in with my egg. All right. I'm gonna go in with my I got the egg. I'm gonna mix this well first. So I got the egg, so we're gonna mix this together with the egg first. All right. So we want to make sure we incorporate this egg in to our bean mixture here. Okay. So mix that well. Okay. All right. Set this off to the side. Now we're gonna go in with we need a half a cup of our cooked rice. So I'm going in now with half a cup of my cooked rice. Okay. We also need to go in with our garlic. Okay. And our oregano. All right. Our seasoning of your choice. Okay. Going in with my season here.
Again,
Okay.
the recipes in the chat, everyone, so you can check out the link and see
Yes.
exactly what Chef Herb is doing.
And I'm chopping up my cilantro here. Okay. And it don't have to be finely chopped. It's just some you're just gonna give it a nice little rough chop here. Okay. I'm going in now with that. And the last is our scallions. So that's the 1/4 of our chopped scallions here. All right. So all I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna give this a nice little chop, mess it up a little bit. Okay. All right. Nothing that you guys cannot do. All right. Like I said, this is simple, easy, straightforward. Okay. So now that I have that chop, we're gonna add this into our mixture here. All right. Now I'm going to mix it all together. Okay. Hey, well, it smells good already. I ain't even cooked it yet. It smells really good. Okay. Now, you can also use oatmeal as well in place of the brown rice, in place of quinoa. You can always use the oatmeal in place of ground turkey, ground beef, ground chicken. You can use that in its place as well. All right. Now that I have that mixed, I'm going to turn my stove on here. Okay, get my pan hot. Right. And while that's getting hot, I'm gonna just form up a burger real quick. All right. So I'm just gonna form me up a burger. All right. And let me change my glove here. Because I'm gonna go in now with a little bit of my vegetable oil. Okay. Change my gloves. And then we're gonna cook up our black bean burger. Right. And I guarantee you, you do this right, you season it just right, you will not miss the meat, okay? I know it's Tuesday, so we could consider this meatless Monday. All right, so the oil is heating up here. Okay. I'm just putting on my new set of gloves here. Okay. So just bear with me. Okay, and we're just gonna cook these for like 2 minutes per side. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm gonna do my burger. And I'm just gonna do one burger for now. It's just me in here. Okay. So now I have my burger in the center here. All right. And now we're just gonna let this cook. We're gonna let this do its thing, okay? All right. I don't want the temp too high. I just want to cook it on both sides and make sure it's heated all the way through. Okay. Now while that is doing its thing, I'm gonna clean up my mess here a little bit. All right. Get my station ready for my serving. Okay. So we're just gonna let it
Doing
do.
great, Chef Herb.
Say it again.
You're doing great.
All right. So we're just gonna let it do its thing. Okay. We're not gonna rush it. All right. And remember, this is the texture of this is it's gonna be soft because it is the black beans. Okay. But the binder that's gonna pull it together with the egg and with the brown rice. All right. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So when we go to flip this, we want to be careful and make sure that we take our time and flip it, okay? All right. That needs to do a thing. I am not going to touch it. Gonna let it brown. I told you I want two and 2.5 minutes per side. Okay. So give you a chance to wash a few dishes while it's doing this thing. It's not cooking, it's not too high. The temperature is not too high. All right. So you just want to be mindful of that. Let it hang out for a little bit, okay? So remember, we want to cook this thoroughly. We have the egg in it as well, okay? So I'm just washing a few dishes there. So this is my filler in between, okay? Again, you guys, there's variations to this recipe. As far as half and half burger with the half black beans or ground turkey or ground chicken if you want. Instead of brown rice, you can use oatmeal, you can use quinoa. Okay. All right. So now I want to flip this over. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. I just flatten it out a little bit, keeping it together. Okay. So we're just gonna let this hang out on this side for a few, okay? Now, while that is doing this thing, I have my bun ready. I have whole wheat bun, and I'm gonna have a slice of tomato on to garnish up my sandwich, okay? You can use lettuce, tomato, onions, whatever you choose. It's a burger. So you're gonna treat it just like any other burger. However you want to dress it up, that's how you're gonna do it, okay? So keep that in mind. Okay? So we're just gonna let that hang out for a few minutes. All right. I'm just washing up my dishes here, that's all. Saving me a little bit of time. Okay. So we're not rushing it, just letting it do its thing. Okay. All right. So just letting it hang out. If you wanted to put this under a broiler, you could broil this if you wanted to. If you want to put this in the air fryer, you can do that in the air fryer as well. Okay. I'm shaking it back and forth because I'm making sure it's not sticking to my pan. And the reason it's not sticking is because my pan is hot. Okay, and I do have the oil on here. All right. Let's check out, see what we're looking like on. Yep. Ooh. I broke it up a little bit. I didn't mean to do that. It'll come back together. I didn't mean to break it up. I'm flipping it too fast. But it'll come back together. Okay. Just remember,
I do
it
that
is
with
soft.
salmon cakes all the time, Chef Herb. Sometimes they just come apart a little bit, but
Exactly. Now, and the reason, I tell you what, the better pan to do this with is a flat griddle. A flat griddle is easier to flip than it is the saute pan because of the size. So the flatter the griddle, the better it is. But it's okay. You know, it's you're not hurting anything. It'll be just fine. When we eat our sandwich, we just cut it in half, okay? So we're good. All right. Yes, and I like what you just said, Alexander. The salmon cake does the same thing.
I mean,
Now,
it's not going to be, you know, not as thick. It's still which your mixture looks really, really good because it could have separated as soon as you put it in there, but
yeah,
because you let it cook, it didn't go all over the place. So
exactly. And most of these black bean recipes, they call for after you make your patty, you have to freeze it for at least 30 to 25 minutes and let it set before you fry it. This one didn't call for adding it into the freezer. Okay. So all right, I'm gonna dress this up right now into my bun. Okay. All right. Just give me a chance to taste my little bits off to the side. That's all.
it's like the first pancake. It's not, you know.
Exactly, the first pancake. That's right. It breaks the pot in after you get the first one done. Okay. So I'm gonna taste a little piece that I broke off. Mm-hmm. You know, my lettuce, my tomato, and then my bun. Okay. So this is what we have here. I mean, it looks just like it's beef. Be honest with you, and it tastes amazing. I just tasted a piece of it. So what do you guys think out there in TV land? I mean, iPad land.
Well, I think it looks amazing. And well, let's all say thank you before we go for questions to Chef Herb and Paul for such a wonderful demonstration and presentation. I think they definitely deserve that today. So let's all give them our thank yous before we go for questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Peace,
Good
Chef.
job.
And
Good
Paul.
job. Good
Good
job.
job.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank
Job.
you so
Very,
much.
very
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So much.
appetizing.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you, guys.
appetizing.
Miss Dolores in the chat said, I love it. I love it too. We had so much fun. So thank you, Chef Herb and Paul, for your presentation and demonstration today. Does anyone have any questions about anything that Paul went over, or anything you noticed for Chef Herb's demonstration? Again, we had a great session today. But so please raise your hand, and we love to hear from you, and to see how many questions or comments we have. So I see we have one hand, but anyone else would like to share their thoughts, please raise your hand. You can also put it in the chat too, okay? Either way works out. Chef and Paul, make sure you unmute yourselves, okay? We got Denise first, and then Miss Marie. Any questions or comments for today?
Hey, Chef Herb, I'm gonna be Teresa now. I just want to know, what else you could substitute instead of putting the rice to hold it?
Chef, you gotta unmute yourself.
Oh, me?
No, Chef.
Oh,
Now you gotta get back to his iPad. Just give him a
Yeah,
second.
I had to unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right. Let me turn my camera around. Substitution, as far as with this recipe, you can substitute the rice for oatmeal, the rice for quinoa. You can also, the beans, you can mix and match your beans if you choose to. You can also use ground turkey or ground beef or ground chicken as well. If you want to add other vegetables to this, some diced bell peppers, different color peppers, I would just cut them up small, mince them or dice them real small and
Mm-hmm.
add to that as well. So there's a lot of different options with this, and you can do how we first introduced a burger like this, and we did a half and half burger. All right, so we had half of the black beans and half for ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken as well. So we did a combination together. And again, it is really simple, straightforward. However you want to do it is okay. And with that other recipe, that's why I say is when you make your burgers, you're gonna foam up your burgers and then you're gonna place them into your freezer, not the refrigerator. You can place them into a freezer so they can set up and they're freeze and tighten. So by the time you add that to your saute pan, by the time it's almost about to fall apart on you because it is a soft mixture, it'll be done. Okay, so it just firms them up a little bit. That's all. But those are some of the variations.
So once you put them in the front, throw them out, take them out the freezer, throw it out, or just
No, just
cook
go
them
right.
frozen.
Yeah, cook them frozen right to your saute pan, and they'll
Oh.
hold up better. They'll hold up better. Okay.
Oh, okay. I saw in the chat, I think Bridget you can use mashed potatoes too.
Yes, the instant potato mix. You can use that as a binder. The sweet potatoes as well. I see somebody has the sweet potatoes in there, but yes, you have those options, and I love the way you guys are thinking. You're thinking outside the box. I love that.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Denise. Great comment.
Yes.
We also, again, we have 3 more hands. Any other comments for today, questions? Please raise your hand in Zoom. Again, we love to hear from you. Yeah, we have a few minutes for questions, so please, this is your time to ask or share. But again, you guys did a wonderful job. Thanks for starting off our month on a wonderful note. We got Miss Marie. You have a question for either of our guests today or a comment? Again, Miss Marie, do you have a question or a
Yes,
comment?
can you add, put mayonnaise on the bread or mustard or ketchup on the bread?
Yes, you can. You're going to dress this up like you were dressing up any other burger. So whatever condiments that you want to do, you can add onto your buns, just like like I say, if you was dressing up a regular beef burger or turkey burger, you have that option. Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're
Great
welcome.
show today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Marie. Someone in the chat shared turkey burger with Golden's mustard. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you check out the links. Paul put a wonderful calculator, some other links, and there's just some great chats and tips in the chat. So you guys doing a great job.
And
um,
remember, if you guys going to use any kind of ground beef or ground turkey, make sure it's lean as possible, okay? So make sure you want to check that fat content before you purchase, okay? Yes,
good.
you can add cheese. I saw someone say some cheese. Yes, a good old black bean cheeseburgers. Yes.
Sometimes when they make regular burgers, they put a block of cheese in the middle and then mold it around it. So that way you don't have to put cheese on top. You can just put it
Yeah.
in the middle of the burger.
And this is one of those recipes you can do that. You can adapt to that same recipe. You're just using a different ingredients, but it'll still work.
Yeah, another protein.
Yes, yes, yes.
Great tips. Love it. Again, any other comments or questions, please raise your hand and we love to hear from you. We got Miss Ann and then Miss Burnett. Thank you all so much.
Chef, when you're making the shrimp burger, do you put a little breadcrumbs or do you use some other kind of filler? Sometimes I use crab. I make a shrimp and crab burger.
Yes, you can use, I mean, that's your option to some panko breadcrumbs just to tighten it up a little bit.
Hmm.
Use even crackers. You can grind up some crackers and do the same exact
Oh,
thing.
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Crackers. Yeah.
exactly. So you have the options, and they have those buttery crackers that gives a little flavor to there, but you have that options to use whatever you want to just to bind it together. Okay?
Dookie Chase's mother does a recipe just like you with that bean uh, burger. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to tell you that I'm going to follow that recipe because it's just like hers, and she's a good cook.
And that's good. And just remember what I always tell you guys, make it your own, okay? So do adapt it to what you like and do your thing, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, and God
Thank
bless you. See you
thank you, Miss
soon.
Ann.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, dear.
Ann. Yeah, that again, the recipe is in the chat. It's directly from USDA's website. They have the ingredients, amounts, recipe. So make sure you check out the link in the chat, you guys. It's just amazing what we went over today. And then we got Miss Burnett. Any questions or comments for either of our guests today?
Yeah, I want to make a comment. I have a can of black beans on my counter that I was saving to put in a salad. And I intended to make turkey burgers for the 4th of July for myself. And I said, wow, I won't need to take the turkey out the freezer. I'm going to just make the black bean burger.
And that's good. And let me tell you, Miss Burnett, is that season it to your liking, whatever you want, your onions, garlic, do your thing, okay? What you like, and take your
Do
time
your
with
thing.
it.
And I
And
already decided I always keep a jar of crushed almonds. So I'm going to use that flour to bind it together.
Oh, that's
So
that's
thank you
great.
so much. It'll be much
Thank
healthier.
you. And we
Thanks.
love to hear how it turned out when we get back together again, okay?
Oh, okay.
I love that innovation, Miss Burnett. You keep doing that.
Yes,
And
and
we inspired today.
yes, and we appreciate all of the comments and the feedback and even some of the inspirations that you've given us, how to expand on a lot of these recipes. So that is great, guys. I love the way you think.
Me too. Our seniors are always surprising us because they know so much. Thank you, Miss Burnett. We got Vaughn next, but again, any last minute questions or comments, please raise your hand. And then we'll hear final thoughts. But thank you,
Yes.
Yvonne, for
Thank you
sharing.
so much, Chef Herb. Happy birthday again to you, and it's good to see Mr. Paul again. I've come to add avocado. I love to add avocado to my sandwiches, and I'm definitely going to do the black bean burger. And I also wanted to mention when Paul was speaking about what should be stored where. For instance, in the cool, dark place, I understand you store your onions, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and squash in a cool, dark place. Because so often we buy things to save money and then we don't know how to store them for longevity and flavor. So
Exactly.
yes, I just thought I have a fact sheet that tells what to ripen on the countertop and in the refrigerator, and then what should be stored in a cool, dark place. So I think it's to our advantage to do some research before we
Right.
bring the money, the food that we saved money on home, and then don't store it properly. So
Right, because the
that's
first
good to
thing we do,
know.
the first thing everybody is accustomed to doing as soon as they get home is putting everything in their refrigerator. And you know, if you think about it, the way you brought it in the store, a lot of this stuff was not refrigerated. So when you add it to your refrigeration, you didn't change the texture, you can add moisture, you didn't change the temperature to it. So it speeds up the decaying process, you know. So those are very good tips there, Mr. Irvin.
Thank you so much, Siobhan, for sharing. We really appreciate it. All right. Next up, oh, Miss Brenda, thank you so much. I see your background. Maybe that has to do with your comment. uh, you have a question or comment for our guest today?
Yes, I do. I just wanted to share my recipe from the last time you were on here, Chef Herb. This is Grandma's Helper.
Oh,
I like that. I
Based
like that
on
name.
that last session you did. And also, you know what? I have a chart that shows items, you know, as far as your fruits and vegetables, which should be refrigerated or stay out on the
Yeah,
counter. So
right.
I refer to that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that'd be great that, we as Center for Nutrition, Diet, and Health, we're gonna see if we can get some charts and get them out to Mr. Bell so he can share them with you guys. It's something good just to have on your refrigerator so you would know. So we'll work on that. So Mr. Brown, take a note of that to see if we can get some stuff like that for our seniors, okay?
yes. Well, I recommend that you guys share those links when you guys come on. Just tends to be a little easier for us. But yes, a Google search is so great. Where do I store this? Where do I store that? If you have a question, Google it, see what comes up. That's just what we always recommend. Okay, but I love Brenda, you made a recipe from Chef Herb that just that
Yeah,
my
that's
heart.
the recipe. Yeah.
That
Looks
warms
great
my
though.
yeah.
Grandma's Helper. I love that name, Grandma's Helper.
Yes, Grandma's Helper.
And you keep saving money, Miss Brenda.
I will.
I know that's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll see that black bean burger next time for your background, okay? All right. Well, we got one more hand, and then I think we'll hear final thoughts. Thank you, Anne. You have a comment for our
I
guest
have
today?
I have a little tip from Mr. Paul. He said a bag. I have a freezer like tote that you take like keep things cold and put ice in it during the summer. And I put all my frozen stuff and meat in that when I go to the store in the summertime.
Smart.
And I make sure that if I have to make a stop or something or pick up something else, I always have that so that if I hit two stores, I can always and the ice cream doesn't melt.
Hey, that's a good move right there. I like
And another tip for the like cherries and strawberries, they put off water. I saw you get a mason jar or a large jar and put paper towel down in it and put your fruit in top, and the water that drains off of it will drain onto the paper towel and your fruit won't rot.
you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I like
great.
that. That was great.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just love you guys, really.
Thank
I
you.
want to bring you home
Thank
to my
you.
house.
Thanks for sharing those tips with us. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. For
All
sure.
right. Have a good day. God
You
bless
too.
both of you.
You too, dear.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for your wonderful comments and tips and questions today. You always blow my mind and surprise, but no, I shouldn't be surprised because you always do that with our wonderful presenters that we have. So thank you all so much. My question for you two is really quick. One thing that we learned that I remember during the label was the 520 rule. Do you all talk about that with your clients? Oh yes, that I see your head nod. When the
Less
fat,
than
sodium,
5, more than
cholesterol,
20. I got you.
yeah, keep those low and keep the the zinc and the calcium, keep that high. I've taken that in when I go grocery shopping. So
Nice, nice.
that made me think of that. But yes, well, Paul, thank you for your presentation. Any initial thoughts on our group and the information shared, and then Chef Herb, just any final tips for your recipe or any thoughts from you as well.
All right. I'll go first. The recipes, okay. Just remember, keep it simple. Okay. Don't overthink when you're in the kitchen. Do what you normally would do as far as your taste buds. Don't be afraid to try different things. But just remember, just keep it simple. Little small steps. Try the different variations if you can. Don't go out and spend money that you don't have to spend. Make sure you go through your pantries and see what you can use to adapt that recipe to save you some money. Okay. So if I can share that with you, that's what I would share with you as a closing remark.
I'll just say, continue to try to stretch your dollars at that grocery store. I know that sometimes the economy doesn't want us to do that, but try to do your best and look at those tips. Try to use those tips because they're definitely going to help you to keep a couple of dollars in your pocket, or try to help you to save a couple of dollars when you're out shopping. So any questions you have, please, you are more than welcome to email me, Miranda, or Alexander, and he can get those questions to us. Thank you all. You were great.
Oh, no, thank you to Chef Herb and Paul for again a wonderful session today. Looking forward to next month's presentation. And like Cassidy and Kenya did, we invite you on too, Paul. You all do such a wonderful job, and thank you so much for your time and effort. It definitely goes not unnoticed. And again, this session will be on our YouTube, you all, so make sure you review so you can check out the presentation from Paul, and again, review and rewind as much as you'd like, and to see that cooking demonstration that deserves its own show on Food Network. It was that good.
Thank you so much.
So let's all say thank you so much to UDC Snap Ed, to Chef Herb and Mr. Paul today. Make sure you stay on for our poll. And in August, you will see them once again for another presentation. So looking forward to that. And let's all say thank you so much to our wonderful guests today. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you,
Happy
guys.
Thank you, Chef
Thank you.
Herb.
Learned a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. God
Thank
bless.
you.
Great
That was a
presentation
Happy
great
from both
4th,
of
recipe.
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Brown.
July.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
have
you
a
all so
full.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Can you see
Have a
Bye.
safe,
Thank you, fellas.
have a safe 4th of
Jennifer,
July,
thank you
y'all.
all. Happy
Yeah,
4th
have a safe
of
4th of
July.
July.
Happy 4th.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you.
Enjoy all the goodies.
Thank you all so much.